Dark, three-piece suits with hats or caps were a standard outfit for men in the 1910s. By 1922, women's fashion had largely ditched and cinched waists and corsets of the early 1900s.
Our team did our best to make this video interesting for you guys. We'd appreciate your likes and subscribe. Enjoy!
In the 1930s, simple and feminine silhouettes were quite popular. During this decade, many women wore dresses that had belted waists, large collars, and hemlines down the one's calves or ankles. Some women's street fashion in the early 1940s were quite structured. Some pieces of women's clothing in the 1940s featured squared shoulders, minimal pleating, and skirts that ended at or just above the knee. In the 1940s, it became a bit more popular for women to wear pants. Although they were oftentimes loosely fitted, the pants were typically worn, cinched, and belted at the waist. In the 1940s, many styles of women's coats were designed to be loose-fitting with a cinched waist that was meant to emphasize or create the illusion of an hourglass silhouette. In the late 1940s, women's street style featured A-line dresses and an emphasis on creating the appearance of an hourglass-shaped silhouette. Some men in the 1940s could be seen wearing zoot suits. Some say the zoot suit was created when people began to uniquely tailor regular suits that were 2 sizes too large for the individuals wearing them. This is what women's fashion looked like in the USA in the 1950s. Back then, every dress looked like it was from the fashion catwalk. We really like the period. What do you think? Jackie Maisel in the heather wool suit with low pockets and the rear and skirt panel seamed with fine stitching by Bernard Sagerboy. First by Roger Model. Photo by Potier, 1957. Simone in beautiful reversible heather and white tweed coat over grey tweed suit by Manguin. Fur by Cecile Billard. Handbag by Prost. Photo by Portier, 1957. In the 1950s, dresses were sometimes paired with capes, bits of fabric designed to cover one's shoulder. The woman in the photograph is wearing a removable cape that's been crafted from the same fabric as her dress. With the arrival of the 1960s, dresses and skirts with shorter hemlines became quite popular. During this time, women also began wearing pants that had a slimmer fit and came in more vibrant colors and patterns. A trend that's recently become prominent again, while boots first began rising in popularity in the 1960s. Boots that went up Two-one's ankle or one scarf were quite popular during this decade, and they were sold in classic colors. Former First Lady Jackie Kennedy was a major style icon in the 1960s, and she was well known for wearing skirt suits, a button-up blazer that's been paired with the matching skirt. Men's street fashion in the early 1970s included fitted pants and fan patterns. Throughout the 1970s, many women and men also wore loose pants with fitted tops. And during the decade, many black men and women wore their hair naturally in afros, which became a significant style. Bold patterns and feathered hair were all the rage in the 1980s. It's no secret that 1980s street style was often bold. People would often be seen rocking bright colors and patterns with short shorts and big hair. In the 1980s, more women were going to work than ever before, and the street style also saw more bold silhouettes, including shoulder pads, tucked-in blouses with the wide pants, tights, and pencil skirts. Street style in the 1990s took some cues from the 1970s and 1980s with fishnets, bold colors, and animal print. Women often wore high-neck shirts with patterned miniskirts and threw on backpacks for good measure. In the 1990s, even playful styles had a hint of grunge. In the 1990s, street style meant playing with the lengths and layers. Tiny crop tops would be layered with oversized jacket to give a hint of grunge.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next video.